Today we're going to be making a sci-fi shipping container. Um, I was looking at shipping containers and like stuff games like Halo and Titanfall, and they look pretty similar to modern day shipping containers. The only difference is that they have a little bit more like security stuff, like data pads on the doors. The corners are a little bit more beveled. So we're just going to be starting with a kind of basic shipping container to start off with. And then we're going to go add some of the things that make it a little bit more near future. So I'm just going to use this for scale. My 32mm scale figure. Maybe there. And then something like that. Maybe a little bit smaller. So something like that is probably good size-wise. Okay. So now I'll probably make it a little bit smaller in the Y, maybe 55. There we go. Or no, 32, 64. So we can have two side by side miniatures. And then maybe make this 70. Okay. Okay. So now that I have my size, I'm gonna start with the side here. I'm gonna do this panel first, which is pretty simple. So I'm just gonna delete these faces. For delete, I'm gonna take these faces and then I'm going to separate them by selection. Just hide them for now. And then for the sides, I am going to go ahead and add the column 14 loop cuts. I'm just going to bevel them slightly. And then I'm going to deselect these ones here. I'm going to hit E to exclude, escape, and then I'm going to shift them in the S or the X dimension. And then I'm going to change it to individual origins and then scale them in the Z slightly. I think what I'll do is I'll bevel them further. Make them a little bit, yeah, like that. And then we'll deselect these, exclude in the X, like that. And then we'll switch to individual origins and then in the Y. Something like that. And then maybe we'll just move them in slightly. Something there. Okay, so that's the side of our shipping container. Like that. And then we'll just make this like that green color. So this is probably going to stay fairly close to this, the sides are. So now we can make these top rails. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to get this box back. These. Duplicate them. Then I'm going to scale them in the individual origins slightly. Then I'm going to bridge them, bridge these faces. Should be able to bridge the faces. Okay, perfect. Okay. So now we're just gonna make them slightly bigger in the X and the Y. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna bevel all of these edges here. Something like that. Then we're just gonna delete everything but those faces. We'll see if this works. We'll just see if this works. And then we're going to extrude them in. I'm just gonna scale them everything but the Y dimension. So something like that. And then we can look at how these containers have it. Slightly beveled. We'll just leave it like that for now. And then we can add the faces. Probably gonna take these faces and just scale them into the X slightly. That. Yeah. Okay, so now we're just gonna bring this face back. And then we're going to I'm gonna delete this face back here. And then I'm just gonna move this guy out a little bit. And then possibly scale this one. I need to take a look at how I can combine all these. It's probably harder than I'm probably making it much harder than it is. But this is my first time making a shipping container, so we're just gonna try to see how we can make this work. And let me see if we can just bridge these. We'll see how that works. Maybe that'll be an interesting shape. See if we can bridge these faces. Let's bridge a couple at a time. Okay, that's interesting. It's an interesting design here. And then we'll probably just do the same to the top. Like that. Okay, yeah, that gives us something, a fairly interesting shape. A little bit more science fiction than... Yeah, I did this in the most complicated way I possibly could have. Probably would have been easier to just exclude this inwards and... But that's fine. Now we can go ahead and... I'm gonna put one here too. Switch these as well. Okay. There we go. There's our sides and our kind of box. Now we need the face in here. We'll inset it slightly. Probably inset it to there. And then what I am going to do though, is I think I may just solidify this slightly and then merge, union all of them together. Because I think that the outside edge is done. So let's just add a slight solidify modifier. And then apply that. And then union it, and it should... Everything should work out. Apply this. Now we just take a peek inside. Yep. Okay, so everything's union together. Now we have our shipping container body. So now we have the face. Go back to the face. Let's make it a different color. Closer to a bluish. There we go. So, but what I am going to do is I'm going to take some notches out of the bottom by just going into box cutter and then just taking some notches out like this. Click on the guy here. Take out some notches like that. Like that. And then we're just gonna mirror this across here. I think what I actually will do is I'll move those notches up further. It's non-manifold right now, so you can see inside. That's fine. For now. I'm gonna union everything together once I have the complete face here. The heck? Oh. Okay, that's better. And then maybe I'll... Yeah, okay, so there's those notches there. Okay, so now I'm going to start working on the face part here. I'm just going to give this some more depth inside. So I can cut some pieces out. And I'm gonna go with something less like this that we see in the beginning of the fun here. And I'm probably gonna go with, I was looking at one from Halo, and I think I'll go with something closer to that. So we can just take our box cutter, move it in slightly, and everything we're going to be doing is on that side. Take this cutter, take the back face, and then we're just gonna size it in the Y slightly. And that's how you get this type of look on the inside. That probably make it slightly taller. There. And then probably go ahead and just take this and duplicate it. Duplicate it one more time. Be like that. Good. And then we're going to add an edge loop down the middle. Okay. And then we're going to hit E to extrude. And then Alt S to make the door area portion. So that's going to be the steel part. Yeah. This will make a little bit more sense when I union everything together. Okay, so we're here, and I think we can go ahead and add the... Probably gonna add some more... I'm gonna delete this one in the middle here. We're gonna add some different types of Boolean cutters here. So we're gonna add one here. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna bevel this one slightly. First we're gonna scale it in, make it a bit smaller like that. Apply the scale, and then just bevel the two sides here. Or these four edges. Control B to bevel. And then we're going to rotate them 45 degrees. And then what we're going to do is we're going to move it over 10, 25, 15. Okay, and then we're going to do SX -1 to kind of we're just going to rotate. We're going to rotate this 45 degrees. Gonna print this as well. We're just gonna join these two, and then we're gonna mirror this that. So now it kind of has a little bit more of an interesting design. And we'll also probably, we can scale the inside in slightly. To their individual origins. Apply scale. Like that. Okay, and now we are going to, okay, so it's already starting to look a little bit more science fiction. Take this. And we're gonna mirror this across the Y, so it's same on both sides. Like that. Looks good. We're probably gonna add a data keypad thing. So just gonna add a cube. Want it to be an accessible height for our characters to interface with. Probably gonna be like there. That's a good size. Okay. Now that we have that, we're gonna move it not in the center exactly, but slightly off center. Then we're gonna take this back edge, back face, move forward. Scale it slightly. Scale the whole thing down slightly. And then we're going to add I think we can hit E. No. That's fine. Okay, and then we can just, this is going to be our top area. Going to be our like thing here. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0. Bang bang. Okay. Gonna do that. And we're gonna take these. And then we're going to inset them slightly by hitting I. But just double click I. And then we're gonna move them in the Y slightly. And that's our keypad. And we're going to take these inset them slightly as well. Gonna push this out more. And then we're going to take this, inset it, and push it in. Okay. So now we'll take this, these three faces maybe, and slightly. And then we're just gonna bevel this. That's gonna serve as our keypad for our, we'll make this black, we'll make this part blood. Gonna make this like a light thing that lights up. Kind of like a, hey, this block is engaged, block isn't engaged kind of deal. And we're gonna something like that. And then this is just gonna be an override or something. Okay. And I'll probably insert these just a little bit more. There we go. So that's our like data pad thing. So now we're just gonna add the bars. We make this a little bit smaller. Like that. And then we're going to add okay. We're probably going to move these cutters up slightly. With the data pad further down, so they can engage with it in a slightly easier way. So now we're just going to add some VODs here. Like that. Oh. Okay, so these are some VODs. Okay, so those are just going to be cylinders. That. And then we're going to make it so that, forget how these open. These come down slightly. Yeah, I'm gonna make it so that like these VODs are keeping it from opening. And then when you put in the data pad key thing, they disengage. And you can go and access your stuff. I'm gonna make them a little bit thicker. Something like that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to mirror them across the Z like that. And then I'm going to take this top portion here and make it so that there is like a lock thing here. I'm going to just duplicate this, Shift D, and then separate it by selection. Origin geometry, scale it slightly, do like that. Can move this out further. Like that. And then I can go ahead, make it slightly bigger, and everything but the Z dimension. And then I'm gonna take these faces, delete these faces. I delete top and bottom face too. Take these, exclude them back. That. Okay. We're probably gonna move this down slightly. And then we can just fill this face here. And now there's a slightly kind of locking mechanism here. Take these. And then we're just gonna rotate this. And just move it down slightly. And then this is our lock. It's the same color as. And what we can do here is just join these. Get rid of any weird artifacts. Then just hint in the bottom. Just use J to join here. That. And then maybe take this, move it back into Y, and bevel it slightly. Like that. If I just bevel this, apply scale. There we go. Just bevel everything just a little bit. Okay. So that's our lock. We have one at the top, and then we just mirror it across the bottom too. Where is this? Okay. Just gonna apply this mirror. Move these up slightly. And then we can go ahead and take this and mirror this across the X as well. Take this, mirror it across the X. those are 2. And then maybe we just duplicate this. Something like that. Okay. Pretty good here. So these will disengage. So they have to have some place to kind of go to. Makes sense. I'm just gonna add an edge loop here. I'm just gonna take these faces, then exclude them slightly. Hit E to exclude and then Alt S. Something like that. Take the tops, these top edge loops here, and click on it. And then just bevel these slightly. And Control B. First I'm gonna apply a scale. And then okay. So now these look like more they can be reflectable slightly. If these can go down, these portions can go down into this bigger portion there. But now what we're missing is something to add orange. We need something to glab onto it to make sure it's sturdy. It's now yellow. Change the color of these to nope. And just do. There we go. And then we're just gonna have something to glab onto all of them as a thing. Glab on one side and glab on the other side. Maybe across the top here, like just like a not a stick, but like a beam thing. Move it over in the Y, DY. Hey, what's up? Kind of take it into the size in the X. This is going to be a thing that kind of glabs them in place. Something like that is cool to glab them in place. I take these two, inset them slightly. Apply scale first and then inset them. And then extrude them inwards. That. And then I don't know if I like how that looks. Can we bevel this? I don't know what I'm going for here. I want a clamp kind of thing. Maybe make it smaller. Okay. Holding them in place here. When I do like that, I push this down. Then maybe we can just bevel top and bottom faces like that. Okay, that's looking good. move it here. We change the origin geometry. The middle here. Yeah, how you're doing on motion graphics and stuff? Motion animation. I mean, this, bevel it. Yeah, leave it unbeveled. Maybe just bevel it slightly. Yeah, a slight bevel is pretty good there. We're also going to mirror this across the there. Make these a different color. Something like that. We're just gonna this data pad even further over. And then Shift D, move it down. Okay, so now it's just take these. Got the individual origins. Smaller. Something like that. If that works. There we go. Pretty good. And then we can just take these and just add some loop cuts here. And we'll take this middle one, bevel it. Slightly there. Take this. Loop right here, and then just take the other one here. Maybe add one more there. Maybe set this up there, here, and exclude it. Something like that. And then we're going to selection to active. Okay, that looks pretty good. I think that is pretty good for a shipping container. Not bad. I like it. But I think I just may leave it like this. Yeah, I think that this works. So it's not too hard to make a shipping container. Probably don't have to go with all of the extra bits and bobs, and you can make it look a lot more like the picture here, if you want. But I'm just gonna try and go with a little bit more of a sci-fi look, something that fits a little bit more, something that fits a little bit better in the kind of future world of like Titanfall or Halo or something. And it's pretty blocky because I make stuff for 3D printing. And I don't want to have too much detail because then it starts getting like lost. And I like how much more. But yeah, there you go. Here's your sci-fi-ish shipping container. You can print this out. Line of sight blockers. No problem. Alright, well, thank you everybody for watching. If you learned something, I hope you learned something. And if you're just watching to enjoy,